Do you love the idea of people getting back at those who wronged them? If so, you need to be reading the best Reborn and Reincarnation manga that the world has to offer. Use this list to help you find your next great read for manhwa about getting revenge. Hey guys, it's Animan here, and today we are counting down on the top 10 best manhwa where main characters are reborn to complete their revenge. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon and set us all to be notified about our latest videos. At number 10, we have God of Blackfield. The story takes place in a war zone. The protagonist is a veteran French soldier known as the God of Blackfield for being one of the most dangerous soldiers in the platoon. During an operation gone wrong, the protagonist is betrayed and killed in action. He then wakes up in the body of a teenage Korean high school student. Now, he must handle the trials of tribulations of that student's life, as well as the knowledge that there is a traitor a world away that got all his old comrades killed. The story is an interesting twist on the whole reincarnation trope. The whole story takes place in the present day and in the real world, so there aren't any fantastical elements to the story except the reincarnation part. This is really just a high school action drama story, except that the protagonist is a French military veteran. The story is good so far, but it's still too early to see where they're going with this. At number 9, we have Magic Emperor. Zuo Yifan was a magic emperor, or could be called a demon emperor, because he had an ancient emperor's book called the Book of the Nine Secrets. He was targeted by all the experts, and he was even betrayed and killed by his own students. Then his soul enters and comes back to life in a family servant boy named Zuo Fan. Because some demonic magic is holding him back, he must unite the child's memories and cannot ignore the family and the mistress he serves. How can he lead this descending family back? I really love our main character who will do any means necessary to achieve his goals and ensure his own survival, but also carry loyalty towards his family as a butler. He is the type of character who uses anyone at his disposal to achieve his goal. He is cunning, smart, and confident in his powers and knowledge. This character is one of unique design, even though he would use tactics and wield powers normally used by villains in a story. While the story develops, we can also see how Zuo Fan's emotions also unravel, being the cold-hearted demon magic emperor he is. So I really recommend this to the readers who seek perspective of an anti-hero. At number 8, we have the Great Mage returns after 4,000 years. The worst student of Westrad Academy, the disgrace of the Blake House. A new soul enters the lifeless body of Frey Blake, the boy who couldn't handle his painful life and chose death instead. What's with this body? I'll have to check every little detail of it. The great mage Lucas Trauman. He earned his chance at revenge by gaining the flesh and bones of Frey Blake, the disgrace. And now begins the interesting adventure of the great mage who returned after 4,000 years. So, after reading 18 chapters, I have come to the conclusion that this is fucking awesome. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it is really a good read. And in all honesty, I appreciate the fact that he is not a 50-year-old hitting on teenagers. But seriously, the story development is amazing and it has some moments that can actually affect your emotions. I recommend that you give this one a try, because it is a very good read. At number 7, we have Ranker Who Lives a Second Time. Yan Wu had a twin brother who disappeared 5 years ago. One day, a pocket watch left by his brother returned to his possession. Inside, he found a hidden diary in which was recorded, "By the time you hear this, I guess I will already be dead." The story follows the main character whose main objective is revenge. The main character is so interesting that it makes you want to keep reading his story. The story is more focused on the main character than the world around him or other characters. Though, he isn't overpowered in the beginning. He actually becomes overpowered because of his training and his choices. It's like a mixture of solo leveling and Tower of God, and even a little bit of SAO in there, but not exactly like any of them. Honestly, I just love the protagonist though. He is rough and overpowered, and he moves your emotions with him. He doesn't feel inhuman or apathetic, and no matter how many people he kills, I see exactly why he did it, and I can't help but root for him. My eyes just tear up whenever he talks or remembers about his brother. You see, there is a difference between them, but you can see similarity if you have a sibling. It's impossible for their relationship to relate to you and your siblings. I was especially moved when he would go to every place his brother recommended. What a well-written story and characters. I would totally recommend it to anyone. Number 6 is Tales of Demons and Gods. In his past life, although too weak to protect his home when it counted, Out of grave determination, Nai Li becomes the strongest demon spiritist and stood at the pinnacle of the martial world. However, he lost his life during the battle with the Sage Emperor and 6 deity-ranked beasts. His soul was then brought back to when he was still 13 years old, although he's the weakest in his class with the lowest talent. Having only a red soul realm and a weak one at that, with the aid of the vast knowledge which he accumulated from his previous life, he decided to train faster than anyone could expect. He also decided to help those who died nobly in his previous life to train faster as well. He aims to protect the city from the coming future of being devastated by demon beasts and the previous fate of ending up destroyed. He aims to protect his lover, friends, family, and fellow citizens who died in the beast assault or its aftermath. And he aims to destroy the so-called sacred family who arrogantly abandoned their duty and betrayed the city in his past life. This manhwa is really good. The main character is weak, but he uses his knowledge in past life to make him strong. I recommend that you read it. At number 5 is The Villainess Lives Twice. By committing all sorts of evil acts, she made her brother the Emperor, but her dedication was rewarded with betrayal. At the brink of death, the one who extended a helping hand was her arch nemesis, the righteous Grand Duke Cedric. I can't think of anyone else who could turn the tables in this situation. Marchioness Roseanne, lend me your strength. It was impossible to restore the balance of power for an empire that was already falling into ruin, but there was a way to turn back time before everything went wrong. With her blood and tears, she sacrifices her own body to cast ancient magic in order to turn back time. This time, she wouldn't fail. Returning back to her 18-year-old self, Artisae resolves to become the villainess for Grand Duke Cedric. Please ask for my hand in marriage. I will make you the Emperor. And the story goes on from that path of romance and revenge. Man, this one is awesome. This one is just unbelievably good, and it could be sad to the sensitive. The characters are all well thought out and have great potential. The art is quite good and beautiful in certain scenes, and the pacing and storytelling is probably the best thing. It's slow, but it definitely won't keep you bored. At number 4, a returner's magic should be special. The Shadow World, the most catastrophic existence humanity has faced in history. Tasir Arman is one of the 6 remaining survivors of mankind within it. The 6 attempts to clear the final level of the labyrinth but ultimately fail, and the world comes to an end. However, when Tasir thought he would meet his demise, what is revealed before him is the world. 13 years ago, Tasir is returned to the past, back to the time when he enrolled at the nation's finest magic academy, Havrian. He is reunited with his precious friends and is prepared to change the past to save the world and his loved ones. I very much appreciated Tasir's initial reaction to being sent back in time 13 years ago. It's just pure despair. It isn't until he overcomes the initial shock that he is able to think more pragmatically and work towards making the future better than the previous timeline. And the fact that he's lived a previous life involving countless life-threatening situations gives him an understandable sense of confidence and calm. This is definitely a story revolving around him. He is supporting and raising up his allies to fit in with his plan for this new future. Read it. Just like every manhwa on this list, it's worth all of your time. At number 3, They'll Live. Half a year ago, Yoon Jae Kim lost his wife and daughter in whom were murdered and lives in despair day after day. One evening, his diary completely erases itself, leaving behind an ominous message. You can see them again. The Holy Grail is given to those who overcome the game of the world of the backside. And it is said that if you use it, you can reunite with your lost family. In the cruel world where only the strongest survives, Yoon Jae becomes the only one who knows the future. Will he be able to fulfill his wishes and get his revenge on the one who killed his family? This is not your lighthearted, overpowered main character manhwa, as you'll find out in Chapter 1 while watching said main character have a mental breakdown. A game where only those willing to fight and kill survive, often coated in blood. It's not namby-pamby, it's gritty, and it's honestly pretty good. You'll like the main character as soon as the story starts. He puts his interests first, and always chooses the most logical solution. I never get bored of this one. At number 2 is Tomb Raider King. The gods' tombs started to appear around the world. Due to the relics within these tombs, many were able to wield these legendary powers for themselves, while others became enslaved to these users. Our hero, gaining tons of experience hunting relics for over a decade, dies, only to be reincarnated into his past 10-year younger self. But as a god, equipped with the knowledge of all the relics, he had encountered. He now has an edge over everyone else competing for the relics. This is the story of a revived Tomb Raider who will do whatever he can to claim all of the tombs and relics for himself. The unique relics and the challenges that arrive with the use and acquiring of these relics leads to some great story moments. This is a different take on the overpowered protagonist trope. Man, this one is super good. The action moments are so fucking awesome. And the main character is a totally smartass, which I love the most. I can't wait for the next chapter. And number 1, Kill the Hero. One day, the world transformed into a game. Dungeons and monsters emerged in the middle of cities, and players who had received the god's authority appeared. Sejun Lee, the guildmaster of the Messiah Guild that would bring salvation to the world. The whole world celebrated the hero's appearance, and I became his comrade. But he wasn't a hero nor a messiah, like the world was hailing him. He was a deceitful hero with a secret ambition to rule the world. You did well. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have come this far. I lost my life at his blade in the last dungeon, or so I thought. The announcement I heard next to my ear the moment I died. Starting the game, I returned to the past, back when I still hadn't awakened as a player. And this time, it's my turn to hunt him. I enjoy the basis of this story, which is extremely similar to Solo Leveling. The art is really good, the plot is intense, and it will make you cynical, and the main character is someone you can truly enjoy, taking the side of an antagonist. This story isn't really lacking in any way. Well, as we can tell from this list, there are many great manhwa out there, but if you know about any more, or if you think that we missed some, please tell me in the comments below. I will definitely make a second part of this video. There's just so much great content out there that you just can't keep track of it all at once. But as for our community, nothing seems to slip on past us. So if you know of any great manhwa, manga, or anime that you think that we missed, please, by all means, give us a recommendation down in the comments below, as we are always reading your comments. And who knows, maybe you'll be our inspiration and aspiration for the next video. Alright, that'll be the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and definitely don't forget to subscribe. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.